Have you ever been so disappointed in something it makes you want to go? Well, that's what happened to me this weekend with Bad Blood. I was entirely disappointed with this PLE when it had expectations to be so good. And man, was it so bad. There was one good match, and honestly, match of the year contender. Honestly, it probably is the match of the year in CM Punk versus Drew in that Hell in a Cell. That was the only saving grace of that entire PLE. Outside of The Rock returning at the end, but I honestly don't even count that because it was so minimal. Didn't even it had huge storyline implications, but that's about it. It did nothing for the match. And so I have to say that every other match was a massive disappointment. Roman's match was okay. Nothing too exciting happened outside of Jimmy's return. But yeah, this PLE quite honestly sucked, and I don't know why. It had huge expectations to be good, and wow, were there some massive letdowns. In this video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 worst moments from this past Monday Night Raw and Bad Blood. Let's get into it. Starting off at my number 5 position, we have Monday Night Raw as a whole. Monday Night Raw suffered so much with the time aspect. This was the first Raw with it only being 2 hours long, and wow, did it suffer from it. We had commercial after commercial after commercial. It seemed like the Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods match was more commercial than it was match. And so it was hard to even get into the match. There was like one move happened and then we could go to a commercial, and we didn't have that thing where it would show the match while the commercial was playing, but we had no audio. We would just have the commercial audio. It wasn't even doing that. So we didn't really even get to see any of that match. It was very disappointing. And then a lot of people's groups, like Judgment Day, we saw Rhea Ripley have a promo. She's not a part of Judgment Day, but she's in that feud. She had one little promo that, in my opinion, wasn't even that good of a promo. And then we had Raquel basically be Dom and Liv's chauffeur, and then they left. That was all we got in terms of Judgment Day stuff after a colossal disappointment by Blood.
What the fuck are you doing?
We'll get into that a little bit later, but holy cow. Raw just suffered so bad. This might have been one of the worst Raws I have seen in a while. And again, it had expectations to be really good. The Pete Dunne and Sheamus match was really good. And then the Gunther and Sami Zayn match I thought was really good. But wow, it just had the problem of you couldn't even get into any of these matches because of how many commercials there were. Yeah, it's like they didn't get rid of a lot of these commercials. They stayed. And so they need to figure out a way to get rid of a lot of these commercials because it was so hard to get into what was happening on Raw last night. At my number 4 position, we have the band that played Cody Rhodes to the ring at Bad Blood on Saturday night. Holy cow. I have not heard an out-of-tune band like that in a while.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Holy cow. I don't think they were ready for that big of a performance, because okay, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but that was just rough to listen to. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty rough. You could barely make out Cody's entrance song. They were trying to play his entrance song and you could barely make it out. That was just that was just the icing on the cake when it came to adding insult to injury. Bad Blood being an entire injury. My ears were quite frankly bleeding after that. Yeah, let's keep bands away from, let's keep like marching bands or whatever the hell you want to call that away from ring entrances, okay? We need actual bands, not like school bands. Let's keep away from the school bands, please, because wow, that was ear piercing and not in the good way. In my number 3 position, we have Finn Balor versus Damian Priest at Bad Blood. The reason I have this match on this list in the first place, I didn't think it was a terrible match, but the problem is that we basically have been seeing the same formula being used over and over and over again leading up to Bad Blood from SummerSlam, that we weren't really like wondering what was going to happen during the match, because we've basically seen Finn do the same thing every single week, beating up Priest. So basically it was just a formal beating this time rather than an informal beating. That's all it really was. And you can tell they have chemistry in the ring because obviously they're great workers. They're great in-ring workers. Get the word right. But again, if we had not seen this before Bad Blood, I feel like it could have been better. But we had just been seeing the same thing over and over and over again that it just gave me, I don't know, it didn't allow me to connect to the match the way I should have. Because this, quite frankly, should have been like a very emotional night for Damian. You know, he's fighting his brother, his old brother, and it didn't feel like that really. It just felt like a normal match. There was nothing really like, I don't know, different about this match that there should have been. I mean, quite frankly, Finn should have not been getting engaged with Priest at all. And leading up to Bad Blood, Judgment Day were getting way too many victories over Priest that it almost spoiled who was going to win this match, you know? It almost spoiled it. I had a feeling Priest was going to win. I didn't think Finn would win this match, even though I wanted Finn to win this match. Looking back at it now, it made sense for Priest to win this match, but we're not getting into that. We're just talking about why this match was terrible, or not terrible, why this match was a disappointment, I should say. And it was because we had seen the same formula, and I was kind of just not invested in the match as much as I wanted to be. Coming in at the number 2 position, we have the announcement of the Crown Jewel Championship that no one wanted. This announcement, quite frankly, should have been the women's mid-card titles. This is what it should have been. The women need a US and an IC title desperately. Because right now, we're just fighting for the world title and there's literally no singles competition. I mean, all the women are like, quite frankly, battling for a tag team right now. And they don't have the chance to go for a mid-card title that they deserve to go for. And once we go to Raw and once we go to Netflix, not Raw, once we go to Netflix, the women will probably start getting more time to show what they got. And I wish we announced a mid-card title for them, because they need one desperately. They really need one, because on Smackdown, the mid-card titles are doing, or mid-card matches are doing really good. You got Michin, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Naomi, people like that who are battling the mid-card. Literally one of them could be the champion and they'd be fine. I mean, they need a mid-card championship so bad, because it's like they're only battling for the world championships, and it's like some of them don't even deserve the world championship. Like, for instance, on Raw, Lyra Valkyria should literally be the mid-card champion as we speak, but they're just using her in this dumb feud that she deserves better. When she came to Raw, she was battling the likes of Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, and Nia Jax, you know? Maybe not battling, but she was getting involved in their business, and then we lost that. She's gone way down, and I feel bad for her, but it's like they have nothing for her to do, but they still want to give her TV time. And quite frankly, she could easily just be the mid-card champion right now. And instead, we got stupid ass crown jewel championship that we did not want to see. And now for my number one worst moment of this past weekend. Oh, was the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan match. Outside of Dom in the shark cage, everything else sucked. Dom was the only saving grace of this match, and he wasn't even in the match. He was just hanging from a shark cage. Dom's portion was what made it somewhat entertaining, you know? But oh my god, I don't know what it is, but Rhea Ripley has been not fun at all to watch ever since she's returned. I don't know what it is. Before she left, she was very entertaining to watch. She was my favorite women's wrestler before she got injured. But wow, her in-ring work has taken a nosedive, and I'm sorry for all you people out there who love her. I'm just stating facts. It looks like she's either like still dealing with an injury or she's in her own head. I seriously think something's messing with her head where she's too, I don't know, scared to just let her do her thing. And I understand it completely. I really do. Shoulder injuries are not something to mess around with, so I completely understand why she is taking precautions. But the way to fix that is to have her wrestle a little bit more. Gotta be honest, Liv's kind of carried this feud, and in a large part it's because of Dom. Dom's kind of carried this feud as well. Dom's kept it entertaining because of the heel heat that he has. But outside of that, wow, this whole feud has just been a bust. It's been so damn bad. And then to top it off with one of the worst matches I've ever seen at Bad Blood, I can't even tell you how much of a disappointment that was. Raquel basically came back and botched her return. I mean, Liv was supposed to win that match, and then Raquel like jumped the gun too early, and then the ref saw her and he had no choice but to call a DQ. I mean, what you gonna do? Raquel, that was Raquel's fault, but I don't even know. This could have just been so much better. Again, it was only Dom that really saved this match. Dom falling out of the shark cage, that was memorable. That was one of the biggest memorable moments of the whole night. But he's not even in the match, and wow, just if you watch the press conference after the show, Triple H was going through every single match, and he ended up talking about this match. He completely ignored Rhea and Liv and went straight to Dom to give Dom his praise. And obviously it wasn't like high praise, but the fact that he completely just ignored Rhea and Liv showed that he was very impressed with what Dom did that night, and I was too. Dom deserves his flowers. Dom's been keeping this feud interesting at least a little bit, but you can't even say this is his fault for not keeping it interesting, because it's not it's not really his feud to begin with. It's Rhea and Liv. Dom's just a side piece. Dom should not be the one they're relying on to carry this feud. Now that I'm done rambling about how terrible and disappointed I was about Bad Blood, I would love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments section. Please let me know what you guys thought about Bad Blood. You obviously can tell I was very disappointed. I mean, there was more moments that I could go through, but I had to just do my top 5 worst moments, and those are by far my top 5 worst. I mean, I completely concised Raw into one whole thing, and it just being basically its time, but there was more things that I was just very disappointed with on Raw. More things on Bad Blood, but those are the top 5 for sure. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Until next time.